and hopefully everybody can hear me. I am not on camera for some reason. Wait a second. Okay, now it's showing me on camera. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. You know, we're in the thick of Mercury retrograde, so if there is any buffering or glitching or anything like that, I have no control over it, and Mercury's been retrograding hard for me the last week or two. So hey Riz, hey Teddy, hi Lindsay, hi Renee. I hope everybody is doing good. Hi Motivated Queen. Oh, thank you, Lindsay. You know what? I just really was like in a rush to get ready this morning. So, hi, Hannah. Oh, thank you, Ronette. I just realized I forgot to put my jewelry back on. Hey, Donna. How is everybody? So, just to make, listen, guys, I know like some people are disappointed because they can't make it in the morning in the middle of the week. And then there's other people that are always disappointed when I do it on a Friday or a Saturday night because they're out doing things or overseas. It's impossible to be able to pick a time that works for everybody. So, you know, the most important thing is that we're here. I had to prioritize when I can be here consistently over trying to match everybody else's schedules. So you have the ability to replay if you can't tune in live. I apologize, but you know, everybody's on different time zones and schedules, and it's just impossible to find that perfect time that fits for everybody. So moving on from that, this is a fundraiser that we are doing to help a long-time follower and supporter who is based in the UK. They are facing eviction due to circumstances completely out of their control, and so we're trying to help raise some money to help them with their moving costs since they were not planning on having to move all of a sudden. It's been a really trying time for them, which I'm sure a lot of people can relate as well. You know, I know a lot of people are going through stuff. But if you would like to help, what we are going to do is the same thing that we did when we were helping with LaShonda, who was able to join us. And if you would like to have a celebrity question answered, you can send a super chat or a super sticker of $4.99 or more. Put your question in there and we will answer it. All of the revenue from this video is going to be donated to them as well. So a free way to help is to like the video, share it, view it, all of that. And if you wanted to book a reading, you can get 50% off until Saturday, midnight Pacific Standard, and use code 50 at checkout to get half off of your reading, and then half of all proceeds from the readings will be donated to this family. And this is the last time that we'll be doing this because other than this, you know, I only take requests in Patreon. And we will have our first Nikki live on Saturday in Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/psychicbellalove to join. Make sure you check out what each tier includes, because if you want access to any of the other content, then you'll have to choose a different. We're not answering any Nikki questions on this live today. Save them for Patreon on Saturday if that's what you were coming for, because Spirit said we need to protect her because people are obviously watching and plotting, and we don't want to give them the sauce so that they can try to copy the recipe or ruin the recipe. So yes, babe, you can send me a Cash App and I will forward it to her. Because I think I'm gonna have to use Payoneer to send her the money anyways. And that's the unfortunate thing, you know, and also being in the UK is that I know a lot of people have, you know, want to use payment options that are more North America based, but I will put my Cash App in the chat too. And if you did want to book a reading, it was psychicbellalove.com if I didn't say so. If you do send a Cash App and you're doing it in order to try to get a question answered, let me know, because I'm going to have to pull up my emails to look. So, but hey, Can, and hi, Eileen, and D, and Amanda, and KLD. How are you guys? And also, I have to give a shout out to Dario De Niro. If you guys missed it, I was on his channel, and we did a whole video live about the Tasha K bankruptcy and, you know, Carlos trying to get her money out of her in that situation, and basically all, you know, what was going on with that. Dario said, you know, this is something in case anybody missed it. Carlos can't like go back and try to force Tasha to pay any of the legal fees that she's incurred since that judgment was handed over by the court. And we were saying, you know, Carlos is probably racked up like at least another $1 million in legal fees. Well, now Tasha, I guess, went off on Carlos again and said that Carlos has been spending $100,000 a week on lawyers trying to squeeze every penny that she can out of out of Tasha, you know, to get money back on the judgment. And she said that she said, you know, your lawyers have collected the $4 million just off of the legal fees that you keep running up since. And dude, we talked about that it's the ego is going to end up costing her even more money. And that's why it's just so funny, this whole situation, because it really is just ego wars. Both of them in their ego, like Tasha can't stop antagonizing Carlos, and Carlos just won't take the freaking settlement. And so it's just like neither one of them wants to like give in to either one. It's hilarious. So, and you guys can go ahead and start sending your questions over. Give me a second and I'm going to pull up another tab with my emails so I can see whatever comes through from Cash App. But yeah, I was just like, really, like, how the hell, like, does that even make sense at this point? I mean, and again, I've seen other lawyers that have talked about this situation, you know, on YouTube, and they have said that basically they've never seen anybody like jump to start collecting on a settlement like 30 days after the judgment was handed down, the way that Carlos immediately was like, give me all my money. They're like, usually like people kind of wait a minute and like give that person an opportunity to like work out with the court a payment plan and start paying it back, and then you go after them. Like, she didn't really even give Tasha any opportunity to attempt to pay her before she started trying to force her to pay. And so it was just, you know, they were all like, this is kind of weird. It was not a good song. I mean, I totally agree with Joe Budden that it sounded like a bunch of pieces of different songs, you know, clumped together, and that it didn't, and it sounded like two people who don't know how to make a song. Like, every time that, because I tuned into the VMAs the other night, and literally right as I tuned in was when they were performing, and it just sounds like it goes to some completely different song the second that Megan comes in. and then it takes a minute to like roll back into the same song. It sounds so out of place, her part, especially that beginning part. So I was not impressed at all. Did Steve Harvey know about his coworker Shirley Strawberry's husband's criminal background when Shirley Strawberry married him? Okay. I'm like trying to figure out what you were talking about. I didn't really follow that whole situation. I just saw like the blogs kind of posted about it, but I was trying to think like what happened. And thank you for the donation, Deja. We appreciate that. I love you too. So let's see. Does Steve Harvey know anything about this situation? Thank you. Ooh, Amanda, I think that's the first country-related question that we were ever asking on this channel. Oh, wait, she's an ex-con too? Huh, that's interesting. I mean, this is the thing that Spirit's saying. Steve is, you know, rich enough and has enough of a team around him that he definitely knows, you know, what was going on and what was up, especially in regards to the people that were around him. However, it's coming up as like, you know, he just kind of put that to the side because he was looking more at, well, you know, this is about money at the end of the day, and if they're gonna bring, you know, views and contribute to stuff, then it's kind of worth it to overlook that and bring them on board. So he definitely knew. Not surprised. All right, and thank you, Dee. And then let's see, Amanda. Country related, did Miranda Lambert cheat on Blake Sheldon when their marriage ended? She has a history of being a homewrecker. Just curious. She's always in some shit, isn't she? Because I follow Page 6 too, and like I always saw them like posting stuff about her. So I just, you know, because I don't listen to country music, so I only barely knew who these people were. Honestly, I only knew who Blake Sheldon was because, you know, he started dating Gwen Stefani. So that's why it was just like, oh, okay. But she's pretty, Miranda Lambert. Let's see what Spirit has to say about this. Both of them stepped out on this relationship. And from even when they were dating is what Spirit is saying. It feels like he parties a lot too, right? Because it feels like the energy of like two people who like to go out and party and do the same kinds of things. And so it's almost like that was like the connection, but it wasn't enough of a connection to like keep them on the right path, grow the relationship, stay faithful to each other, stay together long term, because especially if one did kind of have a moment where they were like, I want to calm down a bit, then it's like the other person is like, oh, I don't want to stop doing my thing and having fun. And so, you know, then it's like whoever was off doing something else and couldn't party with them, it's like they'd go out and cheat while they were drinking or any of that. So is she the Ariana Grande of the country music scene? That's what it reminds me of, like, I just get bored, so I just went out and decided to cheat because I was bored and I didn't have anything else to do. Or I, was having one of those days where you just look in the mirror and you're like, oh, I look gross, and I just, like, don't feel that great about myself. Better go cheat. That'll, like, raise my self-esteem. But again, both of them cheated on one another throughout the entirety of the relationship. But Spirit saying it was really, like, more the partying that caused the two of them to split up, because it went from having a good time together when we're going out and partying, and it became, oh, well, let's fight with each other. I'm gonna go cheat on you, and it turned really toxic, and it stopped being fun. So that's how Spirit wanted to say about that relationship. They're also saying that he's calmed down a hell of a lot being with Gwen. I feel like Blake is kind of one of those reactive people where it's kind of like however the energy of his partner is, that's how he is. So if he has a partner that's kind of wild, like, he's in his wild boy era. If he has a partner that's, like, more like, I'm a mom and I have to, like, stay home because I got to take the kids to school in the morning and make dinner and do bedtime, then, like, he'll be like, okay, well, I'll stay home and, like, hang out with you guys too. So he's doing a lot better for himself in this relationship versus the previous one, is what Spirit's saying. So what else is going on in the world, guys? Oh, I wanted to ask about this because if I didn't get to it, if I didn't remember, I was going to, yes, I got it, Lindsay. I answered her question first, actually. And thank you again, Amanda and Dee and Deja, for your donations. So allegedly, Kim Kardashian and Aaron Rodgers are supposed to come out in a relationship soon, and people are saying that, I guess, like, the previews of the new season are basically, like, teasing that Kim's dating somebody, and then everybody's like, oh, they're setting it up so that when they pop out, it's like, oh, they've been secretly dating this whole time. So let's see what bullshit is really going on, because it's the Kardashians and you can never trust anything that they do. Hi, Caitlin. So let's see. And again, if anybody's just tuning in, I just was trying to make the thumbnail for the live, so I just pulled up whatever pictures I had of people in my phone to make the thumbnail real quick. So it didn't mean necessarily like, oh, we're only going to talk about these people. It's whoever you guys want to ask about. So okay, let's see. Spirit, what can you tell us about Aaron Rodgers and Kim Kardashian? Thank you. And if you want to know some real-ish about the K-Clan, definitely want to join us on patreon.com/psychicbellalove, because I have gone over and beyond uncovering all of their evil over the life of the Patreon. But the live that me and Dario did last night, we pieced together some things that nobody has ever figured out about them. And then we had just the most fun too, because everybody was in their petty pants mode and we were having a good old drag session. So if you want access to the Law and Order Celebrity Crime Unit series that Dario and I are doing in Patreon, you can join us at patreon.com/psychicbellalove. We also have all kinds of other exclusive content over there, and outside of doing, random fundraiser lives, which this is going to be the last one, I only take requests for celebrity videos over there at the appropriate tier. But we had such a fun time yesterday. Oh my God, my stomach hurt so bad from laughing when we got off, you guys. Like, I was just in tears at some points, and Sana was dragging people for filth. No, don't ever, you guys, do not ever get a psychic reading on live. You do not want people in your business, and you have to open up your energy for somebody to read you, and that's when you open yourself up to spiritual attacks. Always private. Don't try to just cheap out. We have a sale, 50% off with code 50 at checkout, psychicbellelove.com, but I do not do live personal readings for people because y'all need to protect your energy. I am huge on protecting your privacy and your energy, guys. And be careful too. Don't be so quick to, you know, the people that want to slide in your DMs. Grand Rising, I have a message from your ancestors. All legit readers have a website. If they're in your DMs saying, oh, I saw something that I just have to share with you, it's the same bullshit that they're telling everybody else, and it's because they're trying to scam you. Just like nobody can say, oh, well, because I study Vedic astrology, your chakras are frozen. None of those things go together. Astrology and your chakras are two separate freaking things. Just like Reiki healings can't exorcise demons. There is so much BS that people spread in the spiritual community in the name of scams. If you ever think that somebody's scamming you, email me, psychicbellelove@gmail.com, and I will let you know if it's a scam. Not because I'm trying to like sit here and like be like, oh my God, no, come to me. You don't have to come to me. I just don't want people getting scammed. I hate that shit with a freaking passion, because those of us who are real and actually spent all of our lives honing our skills and everything, you know, we're not doing all this stuff out here. So, oh my God, Eileen, please, I do not read, you guys. I'm going to tell you right now, don't ever ask me any questions about Blueface, Krishan, Jaden. Pick another question. I have been very clear that I refuse to touch that energy. I'm not going to participate in that. It's encouraging domestic violence and toxicity, and I don't want any parts of it. So if you have another question, I'll answer that gladly, but I do not talk about those people either. So, okay, let's see. The whole Kim and Aaron Rodgers situation. This is the thing where Kim has found herself in a pickle, so to speak. Is that she can't just date any old person for the clout because, you know, she has a certain reputation that she is trying to maintain / repair while still staying relevant. Because, you know, everybody dragged her ass for the Skeet situation. So if she was to go just date, say, a Bluetooth type of a person because it's like, oh, well, everybody's talking about them, and people are gonna be like, okay, Kim, you obviously don't give a crap about your kids, this and that, right? So she has to find somebody that, you know, they think is like, ooh, that's gonna raise Kim's profile, or at least is seen as some sort of equal to her. But those men don't really usually care to be in a PR relationship or want to attach themselves to the Kardashians. So it's been extremely hard for them to find somebody for Kim to be with. It's a lot easier when it comes to like Kendall and Kylie because there's, you know, the younger guys kind of have this ego about them where it's like, well, it's not going to be me. I'll be okay. I'm going to survive that. Or they are more interested in clout. But with Kim, it's like she's been rode hard and put up wet, you know what I mean? And it's like everybody's had a turn and it's just nobody's that excited to be connected to her and all the other stuff that comes with her. Not to mention, you know, a lot of people also would not like Kanye to get online and make them a skeet type of a nickname and drag them for filth and all the drama that also comes with that. So because of that, they have been searching high and low and trying to attach her to anybody and everybody that they could, and nothing has panned out. But guess who needs a PR relationship because too many people speculate things about what kind of people that this person really does want to date? Aaron Rodgers. So, dun dun dun, here comes the PR contract. And this one, Spirit's saying to read the Pentacles card as a contract and not actually money because there's no money that's being exchanged in this situation. But it does benefit the both of them. And especially because Aaron wants attention. He wants people to talk about him. He needs to stay relevant, like in his own mind. And so it's like, well, if people think that me and Kim are dating for the next 6 months or a year, then I'm going to get talked about all the time. And it's perfect timing to, you know, get everything amped up in time for the football season. So we're gonna get a lot of pictures of him with Kim at the kids' games, and they're gonna try to act like he's doing the Russell Wilson stepdaddy thing, where it's like, oh my God, look, he's coaching Saints soccer games, or now the kids want to play football because of Aaron, and you know, we'll get all kinds of stuff about how he just fits right in with the rest of the family. But this is all about visibility, PR, and trying to keep up appearances and stay relevant for the both of them when it comes down to it. So and guess what? Spirit's saying Kanye doesn't care. Kanye does not care. I mean, there's still always this piece of Kim that wants him to care because she is a narcissist, and you know, she wants to believe that Kanye is never going to get over her or move on, and that Bianca is just a rebound. But Kanye doesn't care. I mean, this is the thing too, you guys, that I think that all of the Kardashians have really, like, I don't know, maybe like need to get a clue. Because Kylie was trying to make Travis jealous at the Beyonce concert with Timothy. None of these guys care, because this is the thing, these guys all are more than aware of the type of, you know, PR shenanigans and hijinks if they were around the family long enough. So you think Kanye and Travis are like, oh my God, I can't believe it. No, they're just like, oh, this is just some more Kris Jenner manipulation as per usual. Don't take it seriously. So, plus, I just don't get the impression that that many men would really be all that heartbroken over them anyways, right? Not unless it was like, you took my kids away from me. But as far as like, oh my God, I miss dating Kendall so much, haha. They're probably all happy to escape, to be honest with you. So let's see, what is going to happen with Chris Brown's next era in music? What do you mean by that, Lindsay? If you can just be a little more specific, do you mean What kind of sound is he gonna go in? How's the GP gonna treat him? Just so that way I know what I'm asking. I'll let you clarify that for me and I'll move on to Hannah's question. Did Travis Scott and SZA ever date or have a romantic relationship? Okay, let's see. Which, by the way, guys, because I mentioned this in Patreon last night for my Patreons. So apparently it's rumored that Travis Kelce is that's how you say his name. Is it Kelce or Kelce? I always like forget. Is dating Taylor Swift now. Which I was like, wouldn't that be funny if her and Megan have beef next because she took the man that everybody was saying was gonna date Megan Thee Stallion. But now they're saying that he's dating Kristen Cavallari. Listen, I mean, either one of them, if Megan wants to start beef with them, she'll get canceled either way. So, because we were talking about how funny it would be if either Carlos or Megan got into some drama with, what do you call, one of the white girls, like Taylor Swift or Selena Gomez, like then they would get canceled for sure. And that would be hilarious. Yeah, if you guys want a question, you gotta send a donation. You can either send it to my Cash App, which is $, and then Psychic Bell Love, and I have the same picture on my Cash App that I do as my profile picture here, or you can send a super chat. You need to send a donation of $4.99 or more to ask your question because this is a fundraiser. It's not a free-for-all. So let's see. If you guys haven't paid attention, oh God, Lindsay. I mean, they already ruined it enough for me to not want to take requests on this platform ever again anyway. I was like, I would literally, that would run me off of YouTube for good. And for anybody that does watch in the replay crew, you can send a super thanks afterwards. Just know I will not be able to answer celebrity questions in the comments afterwards. But you can still send a donation if you would like. Or you can support and help out for free by liking, watching, and sharing the video and making sure that you are subscribed, because all of the revenue from this live, including the AdSense, will be donated to the family that we are supporting today. Because we are a community and we take care of one another, and that is what the world is lacking these days. So, all right, let's see. There was no actual, like, real dating and messing around. Bubbles, did you send a donation? That's what both Lindsay and I asked you about that. You have to send a donation or purchase a super chat if you would like your question answered. But there was no real dating or anything going on. It's more so trying to see if they could attach Travis to SZA because she's, you know, on this like climb up in her career right now, right? Like she's getting number ones, her album was super well received, and people are talking about her. She's, you know, on a career high moment, and because there is a need on Travis's end for them to rehab his image, obviously, after everything that has happened over the past few years. So because of that, it's, you know, let's test the waters and everything. But Spirit saying that the way that people reacted to even the rumors that they were dating each other made her team stomp the brakes on that for now. And it's like, maybe we'll revisit that in the future, but at this moment, like, Travis needs to get his shit together a little bit more because, you know, while we're willing to do some type of favors in order to try to help his situation, we're also not going to destroy our artist in the meantime. So that's why too, guys, because I've told you all along, a lot of these, like, oh my God, look at this person and that person are dating, are complete PR relationships. And because of it, you know, there's always a benefit to somebody in this situation, whatever. But a lot of times when you hear the rumors and they're like, oh, well, you know, this person was seen near that person's house and we caught them and this and that. That's just all a part of them setting the stage. Either they're testing the waters to see how people respond before they, like, have them go to some public outing and come out as a couple. And if people respond super negatively to it, then it's like, okay, let's find somebody else to pair you up with. Or so that way they can set the stage to say, oh, well, we've been, you know, it's been rumored for 6 months and now they finally confirmed it, like when it was Kylie and Timothy. So that's why I tell you guys all the time, Hollywood is full of such smoke and mirrors. Also, if you guys didn't realize it either, you know, because I think Doja is way more like in your face with it. But SZA's in the same place in her career promoting agendas and the satanistic stuff. Like, what do you think the Kill Bill video was, you know, when they have to do all the murdery stuff, or all of a sudden it's like Halloween themed, you know, even if they release it in February, it's everybody in the industry is forced to sell their soul and worship Satan, and that's what they're representing. That's why I told you guys, the industry is basically like, pick your favorite demon and pray to God that you're being protected and not influenced by any of the stuff that they're promoting. So that's why if people ever want to say, oh, well, you this or that, I don't care about any of these people. Why am I going to care about demons and people that are promoting demons? So I feel bad for certain people like Kanye and Britney, but Nicki, because she gets a lot of shit too. But yeah. Hey, Happy Bird. I'm glad you made it. And Happy Bird wanted all of us to know that they are not the bird chirping on the 15th version of whatever old song that Taylor Swift has re-released now and called Taylor's version with the birds in it. Happy Bird said, I was not in the studio chirping in the background that day. It was somebody else. So, I have to say though, Taylor was like a whole vibe at the VMAs. I will give her that. Because she was like going crazy for everybody, and it was really funny, and you could tell that she was hella drunk. Did you guys see that video going around where she couldn't figure out how to get her cup out of the cup holder? And also when she was singing along to Demi Lovato's heart attack, and she was doing the whole basketball thing, and she said, "Where like it makes me want to hold your hand." She tried to grab Ice Spice's hand, and Ice Spice looks so like, what the hell is going on right now? And then all the comments, people were like, "Is that why Ice moved her seat later on in the show? Because she was getting tired of Taylor trying to hold her hands." So it was funny. Her reactions were definitely hilarious. That's why I kept going back to the VMA like backstage stream to watch, because they just had the camera on her basically the whole time. It was going back and forth between her and then Selena Gomez making stink faces at everybody. Which, what did y'all think of Selena Gomez putting her hands over her ears when Olivia Rodrigo was performing, and booing when Chris Brown was being nominated, and all of the other like shady shit that she was doing? I was just like, girl, like, why? Like, it was just weird, because she's always little miss, we need to be kind to one another, practice kindness, guys, don't bully. And then she was like the most hating ass hoe in the world that night. I was like, what in the hell? So I was like, somebody pissed in her Cheerios this morning, and she decided to show up to the award ceremony and be grumpy puss with everybody. The secret mean girl. I mean, she's always in some drama. It sometimes makes you wonder. So let's see what the cards have to say about Chris Brown's next era. Yes, Jay, I saw it. I commented on Mom's World about it. I don't think that anybody's gonna be on, you might be in the wrong place if you're trying to like defend Megan over here. Just letting you know, we're critical thinkers over here. That's why I call my followers the valedictorians, because we use our discernment and our intuition and our critical thinking skills, and we don't just believe all of the nonsense that industry people want to try to push on us. Lindsay, do you know who Chris is going to collaborate with next? Because there's something coming up about him working with somebody else, and it feels like a female. And this is going to really, like, I feel like this collaboration is extremely well received, surprisingly. Because, listen, we all know that Chris, like, completely, you know, relies on his own fan base when it comes to his music being promoted and all of that kind of stuff. It's not a... It's not like, you know, the neighborhood talk is never going to post 127,000 freaking clips of any song that he puts out the way that they did for Bozos or anything else that Carlos and Mucus drop, right? He just doesn't get that support. They've been like, okay, let's just keep him canceled. It is not Rihanna, you guys. But this is a song that I do feel gets him talked about more in the mainstream media in a good way. Not in the, oh my God, we hate Chris Brown and like, why did this person work with him, trying to slam him type of a way that we usually get from him. You know, because look at all the people that were like, oh my God, why would Chloe Bailey do a song with him? And why is Sierra collaborating with him? And all that kind of stuff, when people conveniently forget that, you know, he's allowed to have friends. This happened when he was 17. He's grown and changed since then. So Tyla, I don't know who Tyla is, but it does feel like it's more of an up and coming like female artist. Like, remember when he did his whole thing with Danny Lee, and that was like a lot of people's first introduction to Danny Lee, because it feels like it blows things up for this other person. Like, the song is so good, the choreography kills it, the video is great. There's something about, and it's a feature, not the whole album, but this is gonna be one of those things where everybody's all, you know, excited about Chris again. And I do feel this album being amazing. And I feel like, you guys, I don't feel like Chris is gonna 100% be forgiven and thrown back into the mainstream. But I do feel him growing his fan base and having more and more people recognizing that he is a consistently good artist, because I keep hearing finally there's some good music again. You know, we're tired of the stripper rap, we're sick of the violence, we're sick of the booty and the ass, and you don't have anything else to talk about. And so I feel people saying, like, this is real music, this is what we've been missing, and they're becoming a new appreciation for Chris because he's filling a hole in the market that we've all been missing. So, you know, there's always going to be people that are always going to still hold a grudge against him, or this idea that we're not allowed to support him. But I feel things circling back around a bit. Maybe not 360 or the 180, but maybe like 90 degrees. We're like getting there. So, oh, Nikki's going live. Okay. So I will have to look her up after this. It might be her, because I don't feel like it's somebody that's more, you know, like Sierra, Tayana, Kalani type of a situation. Like I said, it's more somebody that isn't super known, you know, in the mainstream, but their name gets out of there because of them working with Chris. So, I mean, and for somebody that's supposedly canceled, everybody still keeps up with everything that he does, right? And of course, expect that there will be some sort of rumors that people try to put around. Also, if you guys haven't noticed, you can always time it. Chris has a project coming, so accusations that he did something to some female has to come back up again. Every time without fail, you can always count on it. Chris has an album coming, so somebody's got to accuse him of something, and then it always turns out that it didn't happen. Remember the fight that he supposedly had with Usher that didn't happen? Remember when TMZ and the freaking SWAT team was at his house claiming that he threatened that white girl, and then it turned out that that didn't happen? But that's the thing. People always want to be like, oh, well, Chris has all these stories about him. It's like, but if you actually go back and look them up, like, pretty much all of them have been proven not to be true. So that's why, again, I'm so not quick to just jump on anything and be like, oh my God, this person did it, because a lot of times it turns out, no, they didn't. Just somebody was looking for attention or some money out of it. Which is why I always tell y'all, question everything and don't believe nothing that people say. Make up your own mind. Do your own research. So, I know. I want Chris. Chris is like one of the few people that will consistently give you a good performance, whether it's at a concert, a music video, a award show. But I'm so tired of all just the dry, old, same old music and everything else that's constantly being shoved down our throats. And none of it's good. So let's see. Let me go back up to Eileen's question. And for anybody that joined us, if you would like to ask a question, you can send over a super chat of $4.99 or more, or you can cash at me, Psychic Bella Love. Make sure you put the $sign in front. Make sure you spell psychic right. It will be the same picture that is my ID picture on here. Because this is a fundraiser. We are helping a family that is facing eviction. I don't take requests on here, otherwise this will be the last one of these that we do. Otherwise, you got to join us on patreon.com/psychicbellalove to put in requests. So let's see. I know Millie Bobby Brown was put into the Hollywood industry at a young age by her parents. Are they against her relationship with Bon Jovi's son and fear that the cash flow might stop? Oh, that's a good question. Are they engaged? I was like so shocked. I was like, oh my God, she's with Bon Jovi's kid? Like, how do they even meet each other? He looks so much like his dad too. It's crazy. Bon Jovi's always been cute though. Exactly, Hannah. The numbers and longevity don't lie. But see, this is why I always say that these new artists need to take note. Why is it that Taylor can re-release the same song 112 times and people will go run to buy it? Why is it that Chris Brown is perma-canceled, but yet he can still release another album and go on tour every year? Why is it that, you know, Nicki got to host the VMAs? Because these people took the time to build a fan base. They weren't just trying to live in the microwave of chase some viral TikTok clout right now and then, you know, hop on to the next thing because they wanted longevity in their careers. And God forbid you do get canceled for something, whether you did it or not. Having that real fan base is what's going to keep you being able to pay your bills if you're never able to fully redeem yourself and get back to the same place you were in Hollywood before. You know, that's why do you think Tory was able to chart from jail? Why do you think Tories had the money to keep paying for appeals? Because he has a fan base that supports him. God forbid something like that happened to Karen, the mistress from Ohio. She doesn't have any fans that are going to keep her being able to still have the lifestyle that she wants, and the GP ain't going to support her. So these new artists are so short-sighted with stuff like that. But let's see what Spirit in the cards had to say about Millie Bobby Brown. Oh, he's releasing the album on November 11th with 11 songs. Listen, I have to say this real quick. I am so freaking mad at Offset. How dare he release his next shitty album on my birthday? Because it's coming out on Friday the 13th, and that's my birthday, and I'm pissed. I was like, you couldn't wait to sling your hot garbage on any other day. Also, remember when Carlos said that she wanted to release her album the week of her birthday, which is the same week of my birthday because her birthday is supposedly 2 days before mine, but now Offcheat's the one releasing his album. So, yeah, what happened to that? That girl's just going to keep promising you guys an album forever until Atlantic drops her. And this is the thing too, guys. If people like Chris Brown and Taylor Swift weren't making money continuously off their fans, their labels wouldn't let them keep releasing music and going on tours and doing stuff. So obviously, you know, their fans really do buy and support their stuff, because I don't know, unless you do have a bazillion monthly listeners who stream your stuff all day, every day, you can't really rely on the streaming royalties to keep you rich. That 1/8 of a penny, that means literally people have to stream your song 8 times for you to get a penny. So can you imagine how many streams people have to have on any song for it to be profitable in any way? Now you can just imagine how much money the two bozos aren't making with all their payola that they're dumping into things. And again, guys, Doja is the new payola queen. I told you guys that the other day. Her and Carlos are going to be in competition with each other. I mean, Doja's one of those people that's really screwed in all of her contracts too in this industry. So let's see, Millie Bobby Brown and Bon Jovi's Kiddo. You know what? I don't feel her parents actually being very concerned about the cash flow ending. They actually think that this is gonna benefit not only obviously Millie, but themselves. Because it's like people are going to need, you know, people are going to be interested in everything that you guys have going on. You're marrying into a family that's pretty well established within the industry, so there's more connections and more opportunities for her to make money, be on different, you know, things. Obviously, all of the clout and attention that'll come, you know, from the relationship benefits it. It really is sad, though, because the cards are saying they really do look at her like she is a cash cow, and the money, you know, that they need to keep the lifestyle up rather than this is my child. And I'm going to be proud of them for being successful in the career that they chose for themselves. What I would be more concerned about, honestly, on their end is this girl's going to burn out and retire way earlier than they expect her to. She's already halfway there of being exhausted by the industry. And I see her getting to a place where, especially like once she hits her mid-30s, she's really just going to be like, I just want to go live on a ranch somewhere or by the ocean and not have to support everybody and bust my ass and do all of the industry games anymore. So, I mean, probably saying by the time she's in her mid-30s is probably actually being generous. So they need to be more concerned about that than they need to be about, oh, that the person that she's dating or marrying is going to take her away from that, because it's more of her own, you know, personal thing. I could see her totally doing like what the Olsen twins did. Build up some businesses so you have some income, and then you get to like really sequester yourself away from the Hollywood machine and rely on that income coming in rather than having to be like front and center in front of the camera all the time to make it. You think Papa Bear was playing on Nikki's phone because nothing happened, no sounds? Oh my God. Wouldn't that be so funny though if Papa did manage somehow to like go live? He's so cute. So they do the same shit with Tori. Like, who in their right mind would listen to Mucus over Tori? Dude, Tori's music is so good. Kiddo's been listening to Alone at Prom like on a loop. It's just so funny because it tripped me out the first few times that I was like realized that that's what he was listening to like in his room or in the shower, because like I could hear Tori and I thought I left Tori's music playing in the other room, and then I was like, oh, it's my kid. Yes, Taylor, I talked about that at the beginning of this live, that Dario was right about all of that. Is Lil Wayne going to continue with music going forwards? Let's see. And thank you guys who have donated so far. If you want your question answered, you can send a $4.99 or more super chat, or you can send a donation to my Cash App. I'll let Lindsay repost my Cash App in the chat, and I will answer your questions. All donations are going directly to a family in the UK that is facing eviction from circumstances out of their control right now. Honestly, Colmika, Spirit has always said that the Carlos better watch out, and Tasha, you know, is obviously been playing chess not checkers for a long time with her and is just waiting for her to have her moments and go off and say a bunch of untrue things about Tasha so that Tasha can take her to court and punish her in return. So, I mean, that's why I told you guys, you could have gone. I mean, if we wanted to get this whole Selena Gomez versus Carlos beef going, somebody just needed to make a video and edit all of Selena's little faces that she was making and put it over the Bozos performance. Like, she was reacting to that and say Selena was being shady last night because she's the biggest barb. Carlos will go after her so fast. I'm telling you, that would be funny as heck. Ooh, awesome, Lindsay. Did we get any news? Because he was supposed to go to court this morning for the appeal. Did we get any news yet on that? And just for anybody who doesn't know how the county jail system works, especially in California, if Tori is going to court, if they say like 11:30, like Tori has to go to court, you know, this morning or whatever, that means that he probably left that jail at 5 a.m. and has been locked in some concrete cell in the courthouse waiting so that he can appear in front of the court eating a bologna sandwich out of a brown bag. I'm not saying this to make fun of anybody that's going to jail. I'm saying this so you guys understand what Tori goes through and why somebody who's innocent, this is such a fucked up thing for him to have to go through, because it's not just, oh, they locked you in a cell and you don't get to see your kid or be free or making music or, you know, continuing your life, but like the mundane, horrible day-to-day stuff that he has to deal with is so freaking sad. I told you guys yesterday on Patreon, they're not going to let this man out because guess what? They're trying to rehab Mucus's career. They can't let Tori out because, remember, they lifted the gag order. And so if they let him out, then that means that there might be some credence to anything that he's saying or doing, or that he has a real shot at his appeal, and they don't want people to start jumping on board and dissecting things again, revisiting it and questioning it all over again. They just want the GP to just shut up and believe that he's guilty because that's what they want us to believe, and just let Tori rot in jail. But he is innocent. We will continue to pray. Miracles can happen. But I told you guys, they weren't gonna let wait, they said that he called Megan Kuniff a googly-eyed bee and smiled. Oh my God. Well, allegedly, she got told to shut the F up at some other trial that she is covering the other day too. That's what somebody sent me a tweet that somebody said that they were in the trial and that Megan got told to shut the F up by one of the lawyers because she was like saying some shit, I guess, or something happened. I didn't get the whole backstory. It was some white people's trial, I guess. But and for everybody that wants to know anything about Megan Cuniff, she's defending and believes that Danny Masterson is innocent and that his whole trial was so unfair and they were punishing him for the sins of Scientology. So before you jump to go believe anything that she has to say about Tori and her biased ass reporting, this is my opinion. I'm not saying it's a fact, so nobody can sue me. It's my opinion. I think Megan Cuniff is extremely prejudiced and biased. And I also think that she's an industry plant and that she is paid by certain people, my opinion, allegedly, that she gets paid to write things to skew, to try to defend people. So just wait. She'll get exposed someday. The truth always comes out. But she put the battery in the back for somebody else to go and start harassing all of the Danny Masterson accusers too. She's not a good person. And I hope that Tori's lawyers see that and maybe bring that into question so that way at least they can get her banned from reporting on him at the very least. Because she's the main one that they're using to try to sway the public opinion. She's the one that looks like Meg from Family Guy in the documentary that Millie and Armand are in on Discovery Plus and HBO Max. It's Megan Cuniff, Cuniff. Hey, Sana, I'm glad you made it. I know any Barbie. Well, there's a reason why nobody really in the industry came out to support her, because they all know what's going on and what really happened, like Joe Budden said. Which also, I mean, the way that Carlos flipped out and tried to make it that Joe Budden criticized the Bozo song just because he did an interview with Tasha K weeks ago. She is too damn sensitive. She really thinks that nobody can ever criticize her. Everybody just always has to be like, Carlos is the best. Like, we can bash and criticize literally any single other artist. We can take Kanye and shit on his whole entire music career and say, you know what, Kanye always sucked. Let's all take it back. He was never good. But don't you ever, ever say anything critical of poor little Carlos. That's not allowed. And she's gonna have to cry about it and have a freaking fit. So for everybody that says, you know, oh, she's this, she's that. She is way too sensitive to be in this damn industry. She does not belong in this industry because she cannot handle it when people don't just roll over and lick her butt or take a paycheck to kiss her ass. And she really thought that by suing Tasha, that was going to scare everybody and that everybody was to be like, oh my God, don't ever say anything bad about Carlos. We all have to worship the ground that she walks on or she's going to sue us too. Like, we don't all know what our rights are and that we do have the right to have an opinion and to say that she sucks. Same thing with you, Mucus. We're allowed to have opinions and say that we believe that Tori is innocent. Stop going after people's channels, you fucking entitled ass bitch. So, anyways. Wait, Nikki was about to cut someone on her team out. I have no idea what's going on. So, alrighty. Lil Wayne. Yes, he's definitely going to keep putting out music. I feel right now he's trying because obviously Nicki has her rollout coming. And Wayne is always, you know, in this place where he supports, never wants to compete with anybody or his artists. But Spirit is saying next year Wayne is going to make a huge comeback to music. And it is going to feel very like the same way that, like, you know, Pink Friday is kind of that nostalgia era for us, you know, and we're all excited because we're going back to that era with Pink Friday too. We might get a Millie Wayne, the Carter eras back again with this next album that he's putting out, because I feel like it's gonna have like a real throwback nostalgia type energy to it. You guys, I'm so excited because I've been telling you guys that Nicki's album coming is going to kind of usher in a new era where people are going to start trying to put out good music again. And between Nicki and then what Spirit has said about Chris Brown and Wayne, I'm like, oh my God, we're finally getting me good music coming again, you guys. Of course, the city girls think that they're going to drop somewhere in the middle of this, but I mean, listen, I like JT. I just don't like the city girls music, but it's like, I loved the song that JT put out on her own, and she needs to do more on her own. Like, then we can kind of support that. But again, every time I say like, oh, I'm rooting for JT, then she embarrasses me. So I'll just say I'm tentatively hoping that JT puts out something good, but I'm not trying to get too wrapped up in her anymore right now. It's like she's got to go through a redemption period. I know. That's what's funny though, is like they should have put out the damn album at the beginning of the year, because they keep talking about this album's coming, and I'm like, so you're gonna drop in the middle of all these other people that people have been really waiting for? Like, that's gonna kind of be maybe not so smart. Will Carlos the Clown retire from music after her second album? Thank you, Cole Mika. I didn't even know they released. Did they put out another single? I just saw, you know, the interviews that Carisha was doing in her bat costume on the VMA carpet. And she was like, oh, it's coming really soon. It's coming really soon. But I didn't even know if they put out a single. So let's see. Spirit. Let me see, Carlos. I think first the question is, do we even get a second album? Let me see. Okay, Carlos, aka Yolanda, retire from music after her next album. Thank you. Because I mean, how do you let somebody promise you that the sophomore album is coming for 6 years now, and next year it's gonna be 7 years that people have been waiting on it to come out? Like, girl, really? And that's why I keep saying next year's the 7 years of that contract, so Atlantic can dump her ass and not have to like deal with any repercussions at that point. And that's why when she said on Andy Cohen that she was gonna put it out early next year, I was like, okay, girl, well, make sure you do that after February so Atlantic can get rid of you first, because that's the month you signed your contract according to Google. That was February 2017. So And for those who don't know what the nicknames are, Mucus is Megan and Carlos is Cardi. Sometimes we call them Yolanda and Marcus, or as I've been referring to them lately, in honor of one of the good books of, you know, a classic novel, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. We're calling them The Liar, the Witch, and the Missing Bullets. Well, listen, we needed a nickname for her, and it was cold and flu season. So her boyfriend got to be called Influenza, and she was Mucus. Because that little face that she makes reminds me of the Mucinex monster. So, you know, we like to give people nicknames. Doesn't it, Happy Bird? Okay, don't be surprised if Carlos doesn't pop up pregnant next year. Because this is what's funny is she's really going to be hanging by a thread as far as Atlantic is concerned, because I've been telling you guys, all of these singles is about testing the water. The elites love to do market research on us via social media. Let's make a blog, post something, and see what the reaction is to it. Or let's drop a single and see how people react to it, or have them feature on a song and see how people react to it. And then if we feel like we can push this person or this situation and profit from it, then we'll move forwards. So all these random ass singles has really been about Atlantic trying to test the waters to see, is Carlos still marketable and can we make any money off of her? And if so, what sound sticks for that? What works for that? Which is why I told you guys they were going to test the market, you know, the waters in the market with a Latin audience, which is why they said that they wanted, you know, her to put a Latin artist on the Bozo song, but she wanted Mucus. And so allegedly, you know, she's got songs coming with Shakira and Anita to really try to test that Latin market and see, do we just, you know, if this does well, maybe we scrap everything, make Carlos record a Latin album and try to push her that way, or do we just give up on her completely? None of this is news to Carlos. She knows exactly what is going on. They have told her. That's why they're not going to. She can lie all she wants and say, oh, the album's going to come next year. It's going to come next week. It's going to come 10 days from now. It's going to come 10 years from now. Do you think that somebody that's in a 360 has this much control over their career that they get to tell their label when they drop music? There's people that are not in 360s that still have to fight with their labels to be able to release music. Or to put the songs that they want on the album, or to release the song that they want as a single. So you really think Carlos, the industry plant, has any kind of say-so that she can go to Atlanta and be like, I want to do this and I want to do that? No. It's lies, it's smoke and mirrors, it's the BS. She knows every single thing that's going on. They have had many uncomfortable conversations with her about people don't like you anymore and we're trying to figure out a way to make them like you, but if we can't make them like you, then we don't know what we're going to do about it. So, we know how Carlos is. Her solution to everything is pop out another child. So she's going to think that this is going to buy her time with Atlantic because, well, I can't do anything because I'm pregnant. And then maybe you guys won't let me go because you'll feel bad because I'm pregnant. Hey, Carson. I'm glad you made it. And welcome you, Mira. So, what a surprise. You guys, it's real 50-50 on if we ever get another album out of her or not. It really is. It's completely freaking up in the air, and it's going to depend on if somebody can pull a rabbit out of a hat and make magic happen, where they really feel like we have the right combination of songs and background dancers and features and whatever else the hell we can do to dress this up to sell it to people. But it's really, y'all are going to have to get the cauldron out and really get to freaking work trying to come up with this like magical thing that's going to make fetch happen. Because as of right now, it is not. Her and Offset are very much dealing with financial issues. Overspending, not working enough. No matter how much she wants to tell people, I'm cheap, I'm smart with my money, I save all of it, I make investments. No, the fuck, she has not. And as soon as the money comes in, it's right back out the door again. I mean, obviously we know that's got to be the case. If Tasha's saying that she's literally spending $100,000 a week on legal fees, and at this point, the lawyers have recouped the $4 million in legal fees back from Carlos. Offset's album ain't gonna do very well, so it's not like, oh my God, that's gonna save it, you know, be able to make all this money. She's going to get really desperate and do some more weird random endorsements that make no freaking sense. The same way that everybody was confused when she did the chicken bouillon commercial and everybody's like, the girl that constantly claims that she doesn't cook or clean is out here, you know, trying to push a chicken bouillon, like, and saying that she makes all her food with it. Like, that was so random and literally didn't make any sense for a lot of people. And we're gonna see her do a lot more of that because they really do need to scramble and get some money coming into that household because things are extremely tight. You know, all them cars that she showed off that were sitting in the garage covered in dust with the freaking batteries dead on them recently? Spirit saying some of them are going to be sold and they'll use some BS excuse that, oh, the car was an investment and they supposedly made more money off of it. Really? Unless a car is like a completely classic, like remodeled, rare thing, collector's items, cars usually depreciate in value, girl. So expect a lot of lies, a lot of like Kim Zolciak style tap dancing. Because you know how Kim was standing in her house being like, I'm not moving out of this house until somebody makes me, and laughing and claiming that she wasn't getting foreclosed on. only for the whole entire world to see the court papers, and then Kroy put it in the divorce that they almost lost the house in foreclosure and they're close to losing it again. Carlos will be doing the same kind of crap. So, not Alpo is looking for a spokesperson. Oh my God. Do you know what just ran through my head? Do you guys remember, like, the Kardashians? It was this big old scandal for, like, a day, because, you know, nothing ever really sticks, that North, I guess, went live on TikTok and was, like, showing off something, and people had all the dogs in a kennel in the garage with just, like, this gigantic ass bowl of, like, overflowing dog food, but they're, like, little teeny tiny dogs. And this was like during the middle of the heat waves in the summer, and all the dog people and the PETA people were like, oh my God, Kim, you know, wanted those dogs for the image, but they're mistreating them and locking them in the garage, and we knew that she wasn't gonna let them run around her beige house. I just saw Carlos going outside for her commercial for the Alpo food, and the dogs are locked in like a dog run, and she just takes a handful of food and throws it over the fence at them and says, this is what I feed my dogs, and then everybody having a freaking shit fit afterwards, talking about how, oh my God, they're running a dog fighting ring, and look at the condition that they let those dogs live in. And how dare she? She just throws handfuls of food at the dogs. Because I can see her doing something so stupid like that. Yes, Lindsay, the dog food brand. Like, she doesn't even go anywhere near the actual dog. She just throws it over the fence because she's scared of him. And then I can see the dogs running at her and her running away screaming and being like, I'm scared of dogs. I mean, this is the lady that her endorsement for Walmart was to say that when she doesn't want to shove her 3-inch long nails up her baby's nose to pick them, that she gets Kleenex from Walmart for that purpose. And that was her brand endorsement for them. And I was like, girl, really? If that was Walmart, I'd be so goddamn pissed that you used boogers to promote this endorsement. Like, I would have been like, no, you need to re-record that shit. That is not cute, and we're not paying you for that. But they're gonna try to push her. I mean, they, as in, you know, the people that handle her, are gonna try to push her to, you know, more like in TV and movies, and see if they can make that stick for her the same way that Megan's team has been testing the waters over there in case she can't really continue her music career. And I don't really feel like that's gonna work so great for her. I've told you guys over and over, I always see her ending back up having a reality show again. But it ain't gonna be on one of the big networks. It's not like Hulu is gonna be like, oh, you know what? The Kardashians decided they don't want to do their show anymore, so we're gonna bring Carlos over to replace them. It'll be airing on, you know, Zeus Network after Jocelyn's Cabaret or something. See, Eric, I mean, this is Carlos's fault because she kept wanting to drag everything out and not put out the album and not go on tour, and now she's basically pinned herself in a corner because she's not Lauryn Hill. Like, Lauryn Hill can take 6 years in between albums, and if she decided to, you know, release a new album every 6 years, we would eat it up because it's Lauryn Hill. Carlos is just Milli Vanilli, you know? Frank Ocean, yeah, there's some yes, exactly, Sade. Like, there's other people that we'll accept that from, but there's such amazing artists to begin with, and on top of it, you know, they have put other stuff out, because as much as people always want to talk about Lauryn Hill's one album, I mean, she released other music with the Fugees, you know, and also Lauryn left the industry because they were trying to force her to do certain things that she didn't agree with. Carlos loves being in the industry, and she likes to play the industry game, so it's not the same situation at all. So let's see, Hannah, and if anybody else has a question that they would like to purchase, please do so now, because I have to get off of here in about 15 or 20 minutes. So how does Jay-Z feel about Mucus's rebrand and her career future? The rebrand that they had to call her and say, you better get your ass to the after party and go find Justin Timberlake and make nice and make sure the people know you made nice, because your ass is screwed otherwise. Because the white people were the backup plan in case hip-hop doesn't want to fully accept you back. But that's the thing too that's funny. It's like, I just don't see like how Mucus could make music that would be like crossover friendly enough that anybody would want to accept her into that community. I mean, look at how like they treated Beyonce when she tried to come to the CMT Awards. And everybody loves Beyonce, you know, she's not super controversial like that. So let's see, how does Jay-Z feel about the horse? Her career, where it is now. Thank you. She definitely self-sabotaged. That's her fault. She has nobody to blame but herself. No, blah, blah, blah. Wait, whose pop song sounded like that? Well, for people saying, oh, they were joking. No, her face was angry as fuck, because y'all know that when the horse is joking around, she's always got her nay teeth out and the big old horse grin, and she's always like, with her big old mouth open, acting like everything in the world is just the funniest thing that she's ever heard. So even if she is waving her arms and her hands everywhere, so no, we know what she looks like when she's angry, and we know what she looks like when she thinks that she's being cute and funny. That was not her thinking she was being cute and funny. That was her telling Justin Timberlake off for touching her, because he's the one that approached her and tapped her and said hi. So, but she didn't want another swirly from Desiree Perez. So once she got that call, she made sure that she ran to the party. And I bet you she wasn't even going to plan on going to that party because her and Carlos were definitely making sure that they weren't going to run into Nikki. So she had to make sure that she got her butt there and got her TikTok. So, which, by the way, the TikTok would have been a hell of a lot better if you would have put an NSYNC song over it. At least you maybe could have tried to convince people. But that's another story for another time. I'm not giving any of these celebrities any more free PR today. So, all right. You know what's so funny is that Jay feels like we may have won a few battles, but we have not won the war. We're losing the war because the war being making the general public collectively come together to uplift Marcus and cancel Tory. And there's way too much noise and talk about how this, you know, is unfair and Tory probably is innocent, and people questioning her and whether or not they want to support her. And because of that, you know, it's like he's freaking out because he really does feel like every single thing that they have tried to do has not worked out the way that they wanted it to. And especially it's like, well, we thought we had the formula down because we tried to do every single thing that we did when it was, you know, Rihanna going through this, and we catapulted her into a superstar. But they're blaming it more on Marcus. She made herself unlikable. There's something about the way that she moves and she carries herself. And it's like, how do we make that stop? How do we change that? How do we make her likable again? They know that this whole she needs to go hide and heal, and then she comes back out, and now she needs to go back and hide and heal again, is also not working anymore. And every time that it was go hide and heal, it was more like whatever stunt we just pulled wasn't working the way that we anticipated it to, so we gotta go and pull her back inside and try something new. And they were hoping that the collaboration with Carlos may have made some sort of an impact along, but they're seeing that it's not. And I mean, have we really seen Marcus, other than her showing up to perform at the award show? Has she posted or done anything to promote the song? Because all the stuff that I keep seeing that's being promotion for the song is Carlos and people saying that they're not seeing Mucus doing anything really. So let me tell you, it's coming up that Roc Nation is the one that's pouring the payola into this situation. It's like they're the ones that convinced Atlantic to give them the video budget, and they're the ones that are paying for the placement on Billboard. And this is all just because obviously they're trying to rebuild Mucus. This doesn't have anything to do with them doing a favor for Carlos. But that's also why I tell you guys too, when people do these collaborations, when it is the duds linking up together and stuff, now you have two record labels that are invested in the payola game. So again, you know, like I'm never surprised when it's like, oh, the song actually did chart when it first popped out, or it, hit a certain peak, but then they always free fall right off again. Because, you know, it's like now you have Roc Nation and Atlantic paying for certain things because both of them have two dying horses that they're trying to revive. So they're throwing endorsements at Mucus because they need money to come in to repay for the money that they're putting in to trying to rebuild her. But also because, you know, it's like, well, it does somewhat keep her at the forefront while we're still trying to work on what are we going to do. They troll Instagram and Twitter so hard, you guys, to see what people are saying about her and seeing, does the tide ever change back to more positive as far as she goes? At some point, guys, they're going to dump her. I've always told you that. She's going to end up just fading away and they will dump her. And she's another one that at some point she'll end up on reality TV too. I mean, I just always imagine her like in the baddies club or something like that. Either that or I said that a good idea for a show would be like redemption. Then they take all of these, you know, people who have been canceled and it's like, let's see if they can find a way to like restart in their careers and get some sort of redemption, and like Amber Heard and her can be on it. And maybe it'll kind of be a little bit like the Flavor of Love Charm School where Monique tried to come in and like whip everybody into shape. They'll have like a PR person and an A&R with them and they're like trying to figure out like, okay, well, what if we have you like work at the soup kitchen and we make sure that like we send all the pictures to page 6? Like, that would be like the funniest show, you guys. I'm not saying that it's gonna happen. I'm saying that's my idea for the show and call it Redemption and let all of these canceled people like her and her like try to figure out if there's a way that they can fix their career. That would be funny. I think a lot of people would honestly watch that. But I mean, this is showing up as the partnership between them eventually ending and then moving on from her because it's just, we cannot fix this. Like, it just keeps showing like them having to really try to fight and battle, and regardless of whatever money that they pour into it, whatever lies that they try to spread to redeem her, people just don't buy it. Like, there's not enough people that are willing to support her. And this is the thing too that Spirit's saying, outside of, you know, the people who already are just like, I don't feel comfortable supporting her. I just don't feel a lot of people, even people that maybe don't care about the situation that happened or don't know about the situation that happened really. I see a lot of them just not really liking her music because Spirit's saying there's something about whatever music that she puts out, people just being like, really? This is what you came out with, girl? This sucks. Like, this is literally the reception, 10 of Swords. This is how people feel when they listen to whatever she's got coming out next. Not liking it, being like, damn, like, we thought some of your other albums weren't that good, but they, like, were amazing compared to this. And just people being like, she destroyed somebody else's career to try to save her own, and it's not working. So, I mean, her and Carlos both are on their, like, fade out. They really are. But this is what happens when your come up wasn't genuine, when you just want to do all kinds of dumb shit, when you don't take the right advantage of the opportunities that are presented to you, people stop wanting to be attached to it. People stop caring. They move on, you know? And that's the thing, too, that people, I think maybe some people forget. Rihanna didn't just only get to ride off into the sunset on sympathy alone when it was her situation. She also came out and put out the best albums of her life, and all of her music that she was putting out just kept getting better and better and were bigger hits. Mucus is gonna have to do something like that. If she doesn't, she's gonna fall off and fade away. And that's the other thing too. There wasn't a bunch of people questioning whether Rihanna was really the victim or not in that situation. Because unlike the missing bullet fragments, it was provable that yes, Rihanna did get punched in the face, and yes, this poor girl, you know, was physically hurt. That's what happens when you get a blessing and act ungrateful. Exactly. And you know what? I'm so tired of the, oh my God, Carl took advantage of her. Everybody took advantage of her. Your mother was your manager. If you need to be mad at anybody about the contracts that you signed, maybe you need to take a real deep look and ask yourself, did my mom act in my best interest? But if you noticed, who was that again, you guys, that was going off on Boozy and saying, because remember Boozy said they were his artist and they owed him money, and then they were like, I gave you money and you still wanted like way more than people, you know, should be, or whatever it was. Was it Blue? Because they used the same language that they said when Roc Nation saw my contract. They said this was the worst, most unfair contract they had ever seen, and that I was getting ripped off, and that I should have been making way more money. Those are the exact words that Megan said about her contract with Carl. And yeah, you might have only got $10,000 up front, but they were giving you 40%, which is freaking unheard of. So instead of her getting a bunch of money up front, she was supposed to make more money off the back end over time, which also would have meant that she wouldn't have been bazillions of dollars in debt to Carl, like most people end up being to their labels when they do get that $1 million advance up front. So this is a thing that Roc Nation does to these artists. They take the ones that they know you signed to somebody, you know, that a Boozy or a Carl, or, you know, there's other people in the industry that are managers and label owners, you know, that are on the smaller ends, and you have the potential to be a bigger star, and they always come in and want to get them away from the person that they signed and tell them, oh, you're getting screwed over in your contract, we're going to get you out of it, we're going to help you, and then now you're beholden to them because they're gonna get you the most expensive lawyers and be like, oh, we'll help you with your legal fees. Well, guess not, now you owe all those legal fees to Roc Nation. So whatever you do make, they're getting their little cut out of that on top of their management and agent commission. They're just making sure that they make every dime that their artists make end up going right back to them again. And that they're screwing over the little guy to do it. Yep, Teddy, exactly. So, I mean, I would rather listen to Tori's music any day than Megan's anyways. Teddy, these people don't even read their contracts. So you really expect that they're going to actually sit their butt in a chair and take a whole freaking business class? A lot of times, I mean 99% of the times, they don't even have the smarts about them to go get their own lawyer to look through the contract. Because the label will always come in and be like, oh, you know, they walk in, they always have like a couple lawyers with them when you're in the boardroom and they're presenting contracts and offers to you and everything. And they'll be like, well, this is Rob and he's the counsel for us, but we're going to provide you with Andrew and Andrew's going to be your lawyer. Andrew works for the freaking label. Do you really think that Andrew is actually going to like represent you like an outside lawyer would who has no connection or bias with Atlantic or 1501 or whoever the freaking record label is? No. They're there pretending like they're there on your side to help you, but the label's paying their salary, so of course they're gonna tell you, oh yes, this is a great contract, you should sign that. I already read through it. I made sure I went through it with a fine-tooth comb. And people fall for that shit. And then they're like, well, I had a lawyer look at it. They said it was good. Yeah, you had the label's lawyer look at it. You didn't have your own lawyer. If you would have just gotten in the car and drove a little further down the street, there's probably 15 freaking lawyers on that road alone that you could have walked in their office and said, I'll pay you for a consultation. Tell me if this is a good contract or not. So, you know, that's the sad thing. It's like you can't count on any of them to actually have the wherewithal to say, let me take a business class. And if you start your career out that way, then is it really any surprise that those are the same people that go broke? Because they don't understand what the money that they're being given is supposed to be for and all the other stuff. And so then they end up buying a car. Oh, I bought a Ferrari and then I rented a $10,000 a month house. And then, you know, they're crying when they figure out that they just wasted their whole advance and now they're going to have to, you know, bust their ass for 3 albums and tours to recoup the advance before they'll see a paycheck of their own again. She'll pour Douce in her Starbucks coffee cup before class starts. Oh my God. I mean, it's just, I don't understand how when you think millions of dollars are on the line or a multi-year contract that's supposed to really like shape your career even, that you don't feel it's necessary or important to make sure that it's read properly and that you have somebody advise you and make sure that you're doing the right thing in that instance. It is really sad. I mean, they completely take advantage. And of course, you know, that's another reason why they love to get these street kids, basically, you know, pick them up off the street and give them a contract, because it's like, it's a hell of a lot better than hustling out of the trunk of your car or standing on the block selling dope just to try to make it. You know, so those are the people that it's like, oh, I don't have to risk going to prison every single day to feed my family. Like, hell yeah, like, I want to go make millions of dollars and be a rap star. Who wouldn't? But those are the ones that are so desperate to get out of their situation. And of course, the label takes advantage of it because they know you want so badly to improve your life that this looks like the best deal in the world to you to get you up out of the hood and get your mama out of there. that you're going to sign it and not think twice and just think that God blessed you today. So, yep. I mean, she knew her worth and held out until she got the right contract. And that's what, you know, a lot of these people think about it though. If, you know, and I have to go in a second, but if you're a Carlos, say, and there's a lot of Carloses who have entered the industry since then, you know, that's the impact that she's made on the industry, is that the bozos could join. And you didn't have to write your own raps or even be very talented. As long as you had your body done and you had a certain look to you and you were willing to do whatever, it was, you know, they'd take a chance on you. But when you're in her situation, of course, because you don't have anything to offer. So it's like, well, that's the best it's going to get, because it's not like if I say no to Atlantic, Republic is going to sign me instead, or RCA or Columbia. It was, no, sign the 360 with Atlantic or stay on the pole. So for some of them, they didn't really have a whole lot of options, but she still could have been smart enough to use it as a springboard for the rest of the entertainment industry, but she has more than proven that she's not very intelligent. Guess college doesn't make you smart. Well, I mean, you actually have to go to college and not have Kelce go to your classes and do your homework for you to actually learn anything, right? Which I'm sad, because where the hell was Kelce when I was going to college? Because that would have been a help. Because I was working and I had a kid. So it's like, it would have been nice if I could have just been like, here, Kelce, you do it, and just handed her like all my homework. I'm gonna go sleep. I'm not gonna do any classwork tonight. You're gonna do it for me. It'll work out. So, but anyways, guys, I have to get going because I have people I gotta call, a kid I gotta go get from school. If you guys wanted to make any celebrity requests, this was the last one of these we're doing. Everything else will always be in Patreon, as it was before and will be after this. You can go to patreon.com/psychicbellalove if you are a barb and you want to participate this Saturday. Make sure you head over there and join us. And if you are on the replay crew and you made it to the end, thank you. And thank you so much to everybody that did join us and made donations. I truly, 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 really appreciate it. You guys are amazing. I love all of you. Your support means so much. You guys mean so much. We wouldn't be able to do any of this without you, and I wouldn't bother showing up if it wasn't for you guys, but you make it worth it. I hope everything that you guys are working towards, manifesting, praying for, comes to fruition for you. And I hope that you guys know that you are loved, appreciated, and supported, not only by me, but by your angels, your ancestors, and God himself. You are important. Don't ever let anybody make you feel otherwise. And if you wanted to further support the family that we are helping out today, you can always go to psychicbellalove.com until midnight on Saturday. Use code 5050 at checkout and you can get 50% off any appointment over there. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody. And I hope you guys have a good weekend. I will be back live next Tuesday, the same time. And I will see you guys then. Love you. Bye, guys.